Alright everybody, welcome back to what is round 3 of FNM tonight here at NRG Gaming. I'm your host, Andrew Donnelly. My co-host, Matthew Robert Dow, is currently out having some fun, playing some board games, having a night off. I'm here walking you through a round 3 match between NRG regular Julio Garcia and a gentleman who's come to the shop before, Mr. Barry Cohen, playing a very interesting deck, a Militus Astronomer combo deck. Excuse me. So we'll see how this matchup goes. I'm not very familiar with this Astronomer combo list, but I am familiar with Julio and his red-green aggro list. Julio, always a fan of the very aggressive decks. Used to play Mono Green Devotion, enjoys playing these types of lists, enjoys really getting to the red zone, likes the combat tricks. So we'll see how Barry holds up against this. Julio, no stranger to the FNMs here at NRG Gaming. Definitely a regular. Good to finally have him on a feature match. We'll see how this goes. They're shuffling up here. Barry going to the mulligan. Wants to check out his new hand. Says he likes it. Says he'll keep it. Let's see how they do. Julio gets a forest after a fetch. Dropping a 19. Pass the turn. I assume we're going to see a Mystic. There it is. Let's see what else they can do. I'm really interested to see how this deck works with Barry. I mean, I've seen certain combo decks in Standard before. I know there was the Curious Follower type combo deck that was going around for a little bit. The Jeskai Ascendancy. There is an Acroan Crusader. Alright. Julio tapping for 3. It's going to be a Rattleclaw Mystic and another Elvish Mystic. So he's ramping into something. Julio down to 18 now. Barry down to 19. Let's see what they can do. Barry kind of thinking it over. Wants to look at his land options. He's going to ping himself again. 18 all. Says a Dragon Mantle. I'll make a 1-1. What else can I do? Go to combat here. Drawing off the Dragon Mantle. Let's see. Hasn't played a land this turn. Has a number of cards in his hand. Looks like another Dragon Mantle. Not sure what the white one is. Frontier Bivouac. What else is he holding on to? Looks like a Retraction Helix, maybe? Pinging himself again. Another Dragon Mantle. Make another 1-1. Draw a card. It looks like it's another Acroan Crusader. Alright. So he's loading this Acroan Crusader up. Here come the 1-1s with haste. Julio, do you want to block? You want to sacrifice your mana dorks? Julio says, no, I'm not about that. I'll drop myself to 17. Passes back. Julio's got a Chandra, Genesis Hydra, Storm Breath, Dragon. I can't quite see the last one there. He's looking to pull something out. It says, here comes Poly K. Big old Poly K gonna eat those little baby soldiers. He wants them. Julio, checking the fire breathing on Dragon Mantle there. Trying to see if he wants to attack. Says, no, I'll keep the Rattleclaw Mystic back. Let's see, Barry on his untap. Looks like a Retraction Helix and a Acroan Crusader. Another Retraction Helix. We know he's got the Frontier Bivouac. Here comes a Monastery. That is the Enlightened Monastery. What else do you got for us? What else can you show us? So, a Retraction Helix to get another token and bounce the Poly K if he wants. This is an interesting deck. Both these players right now in this 5-round FNM currently undefeated. Barry pings himself for 1. Says, here's another Acroan Crusader. Passes the turn back. Julio's been on 2 land for quite a while, but has enough to generate 5 mana. So let's see what he wants to drop out. He's going to Monstrous the Polyk. In response, we'll see the Retraction Helix. Polyk is Monstrous for 2. Barry will take 1, drop himself to 15, make a Soldier. Has the Retraction Helix, says I'm going to tap, bounce the Polyk in response to your Monstrous effect. There will be no fight. Polyk is not eating anybody yet. Julio did tap down now to Monstrous that Pelucranos, so Barry has an open board here to swing in. With a bunch of soldiers, the Crone Crusaders. What else do you have? I feel like if Barry does want, he can kind of overextend here. He can bounce some stuff back, make some guys. Even bounce the Rattleclaw, bounce some of the Elvish Mystics. Set Julio back. Julio has missed his land drops a lot. So here he comes. He's swinging with the team. No blocks. Julio's tapped out. In response, he says, what do you have in response? No? Nothing before combat damage? No pumps? Looks like it's going to be 5 unless Barry decides to use the Dragon Mantle. Pump once, he says. What else? Anything else? So we're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether, dropping Julio to 11. Barry, unknown white card in hand, possibly 2 Retraction Helixes. Julio, still missing land drops, is going to have to rely on these dorks to kind of fuel what he needs. The Rattleclaw Mystic is the only thing giving him red mana access, and he does have a Storm Breath and a Chandra in hand. Casts a Genesis Hydra for 2 and misses. Hits land and what looked to be a Nissa. We'll get a cut here. Switch it back. There's an Elvish Mystic. I'll beat you, Julio says, with the Rattleclaw for 1. Barry goes to draw another Crone Crusader. Holy cow. He has seen a lot of them. What can you show us, Mr. Cohen? Double Retraction Helix, a Crone Crusader, and I can't quite see what the white card is. Not sure if it's an erase. It doesn't look like it. Goes to combat. No, doesn't want to swing just yet. I have to imagine a pump effect would be very good in this deck. Just get these guys out of the 1/1 range. I can't imagine they hold up very well against the Doomwake. Not that Julio is playing them, but just in other matchups. I mean, so we're going to swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now before pumps. The Genesis Hydra is going to try to eat something. And the Elvish Mystic will block as well. I believe it's a God's Willing, maybe? Can't quite see. Yep, there it is. Okay, so it is. It's a God's Willing. Well, God's Willing my Crone Crusader with the Dragon Mantles on him. Give him pro-green. Make a 1/1 with haste. So you have some potential here. You have a potential for a lot of stuff can go down. He's double checking to see if we have any more 1/1 red soldier tokens. So we're using white soldier tokens now. But that is a soldier token from the Crone Crusader. So it is red, 1/1 with haste. I am going to, he says, tap Retraction Helix, targeting the soldier that I have with haste. I'm going to bounce your Genesis Hydra. Yep, he's thinking about it. The Genesis Hydra really can't come out for anything bigger than 2, since the Elvish Mystic that Barry used to block will die. He'll scry. Says I want to keep it on top. My Crone Crusader kills your Elvish Mystic. You take a total of 3. Drops Julio down to 8. And I will play another Akron Crusader, taking a damage. So really, the only damage that Barry's taken this game, sans maybe 1 or 2 points, has been from his lands. Julio has not managed to stick a threat against Barry. Very interesting. Has 1 untapped Akron Crusader. Julio, I have to imagine, needs to get something going here. Needs to get a threat on the board. I mean, hitting a red mana would be phenomenal. Hitting another Rattleclaw Mystic would be great. Having access to the Chandra in his hand is huge. I mean, it's just gigantic. So we're going to see a Pelucranos, which is also decent here. It can eat up some tokens. But I feel like Barry's got a Retraction Helix in hand. We will see first. I don't know if it's a Dragon Mantle? That's what it appears to be. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. It is not a Dragon Mantle. It is a Eidolon. I believe the one when a creature attacks, target creature cannot block. If I remember that Eidolon correctly. I could be very wrong. But we will see the Retraction Helix come out. Target the Akron Crusader. It's going to bounce the Poly-K. I'll make another dude. And we're going to get in for damage. We are going to the attack step with all of these tokens. Oh my gosh. So Julio's looking at 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. He's looking at lethal damage. He has blocks here. Oh boy. But the... So we'll trade token for elf, token for soldier. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Drops Julio down to 1. Julio finds his card. It's another forest. I just cannot see him getting out of this. Frolicker, that is correct. It is the Frolicker. Alright, so Julio scoops it up to the combo. Oh boy. What an interesting deck. That is fun. I mean, just interesting to watch. So the combo, I'm going to shrink it down a little bit here. Combo is up a game. 1-0 against the red-green mid-range. Now sideboard, I have to imagine Julio's got some cards here. I have to imagine he can bring in some things to kind of at least start putting this on tilt somewhat. Get those tokens under control. I mean, the Poly-K is really good for him, but he needs something here to slow that roll down. I mean, he just got eaten up. Just eaten up. Life totals go back up to 20. This is only round 3 of a 5-round FNM tonight here at Nerd Rage Gaming. A lot of big faces out in the crowd tonight. You got a lot of locals. Been having technical difficulties all night. Our internet is not up to par, but we are still going through with it, and we'll still have highlights tomorrow. So that'll be good. I'm your host, Andrew. My co-host, Matthew Robert Dow, is not with me tonight, but will be back in the following weeks so we can provide you with some very fun commentary. Until then, it's just you and me, Twitch chat. We will get through this. Big shout out to all the guys who are playing in Columbus over the weekend. Know a lot of the NRG locals are going down there. Should be pretty good. Definitely a fun time. I'm going to get that mid-range into view. Alright, let's see where we go. Life totals will get reset, hopefully, on the die there to keep me updated. Julio's still checking over what he wants to bring in. Was stuck last game with just 2 dead cards in his hand. Had no access to red mana. Had 1 Rattleclaw Mystic. And had a Chandra and a Stormbreath Dragon in hand. And I have to believe the Chandra would have been good for him. I just have to believe. We'll take a look here. Julio's deliberating. Barry just blew through his sideboarding choices. It seems easy. It seems like he's got a very direct plan on how he wants to approach this. Both of these guys undefeated up until this point.